Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Airazor. Now, she's a deluxe class figure, and I'm so happy to have her in hand. So, let's take a look at the packaging. There she is in all her glory. We'll get her out of there in a few minutes here. But just taking a look at that beautiful, beautiful artwork there. Just the detail on the wings and the fur and everything. It came out so nice, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that on the toy itself as well. It does wrap around to show her in her robot mode with those missiles mounted on her forearms, looking very, very cool. Really can't wait to get this this girl open and see what she's all about here. Deluxe class, just incredible piece of artwork. This is probably one of my most anticipated figures in this line. I'm really looking forward to getting her open. Product information on the bottom. On the top, you get your run-of-the-mill War for Cybertron Kingdom packaging. On the side, you have your Kingdom artwork with the Authentics logo there. On the back, you have her in her robot mode. Looking really cool. Just love all the detail. I think this figure came out really nice. And there she is. She converts in 22 steps into her Falcon mode. Very, very cool. So, without further ado, let's get Airazor out and see what she's all about. Alright, so here we have Deluxe Class Airazor out of the box, and let's take a look at her details, and there are a lot of details. This figure is just laden with sculpted detail and just beautiful paint and sculpt work. So, I'm just gushing over this figure already, and haven't even really taken a good look at her. So, first and foremost, that head sculpt. Take a look at that beautiful head sculpt. You have some almost lavender, sort of metallic lavender for the face. You get some green for the eyes, get a nice gold paint for the crest, and some orange plastic there. And just the head sculpt itself is just, it's beautiful. It's a really amazing, probably one of my favorite head sculpts from this line. Definitely one of my favorite figures from this line. The sculpt work is just amazing, and the colors they chose are just spot on. I really love that head sculpt. It's very cool. Going down the figure, again, we have just so much sculpt work. You do get a lot of the texture from the Falcon mode. We'll see that more when we transform her. But just going down, you do see the maximal symbol on her forearm there. And you do get some really nice, again, you get some nice sort of gold, yellowish paint there with the orange plastic. Again, just really nice detail all throughout this figure. Very, very cool. I'm really loving this figure. You get a little bit of nice detail there on the legs, not much on the feet. And turning her around, you do get some beautiful paint on the tips of the wings there. You get a nice fade from the brownish gray into the lighter gray there. And she does have a little bit of a backpack, but of course she's going to have a backpack because she's a Falcon. So again, we'll take a look at more in detail in the Falcon mode. But again, those wings and the sculpted detail on this is just amazing. They really did a great job with this figure. As far as articulation, she is highly articulated. Her head is on a ball joint and can look up that much, which is really cool because you can get her in some flying poses. It can get a little bit of side to side, and you do get a full 360 right there. You can see the ball joint right there. And so yeah, you get a lot of articulation on the head, and her arms can go out, and they are on a swivel there, and they can go the full 360 as well. But of course, it gets hindered. You can sort of move the wings out of the way so you can get the full range there. But there's a hinge joint there. There's also a bicep swivel there. And you get a 90 degree, about 90, a little over 90 at the elbow. And because of transformation, there is a little bit of articulation here. There is a pin right here. So her wrists can go up like this. But again, that is for transformation. But you can use it as sort of a wrist joint. And there's nothing at the wrist. That's just one molded piece right there. So let's get her arms out of the way here. And let's bring these wings out a little bit. You do get a little bit of, not a little bit, but you do get a full 360 on the waist. But you do have to sort of put this tail piece up to get the full 360. But again, really nice articulation. She can do the full spread, almost, more than a full spread on the legs. And it is on a ball joint right here. There's a swivel joint there. And so you can get... You can't get much at the thigh there because of transformation. There's a hinge joint there instead of a swivel joint. So, but you can get there is a swivel right above the knee, and you do get a nice deep, because of transformation again, you get a really nice deep knee bend there. So there's some very nice articulation there. She can kick She can kick forward that much. You can really high kicks there, and you can kick back that much. So really a lot of range on the legs, mostly due to transformation again. And down here, again for transformation, she's got some lower sort of shin articulation there, but you wouldn't really use that. And the foot is just on a ball joint there, so you can swivel around, and you do get side to side motion and also back and forth. So highly articulated figure. Very, very cool. And just taking a look at the accessory that she comes with. And again, on the wings, there's tons of hinges on the wings. Just be careful. I sort of, when I was posing her, I broke this off, and it was a bit hard to get back on. I have heard a couple people have their wings break while they're trying to straighten out the wings. So please be very careful if you do pick up this figure. These hinge joints back here tend to be a little bit finicky. So, but you can, they're all on hinges here. So you can basically in robot mode, kind of, angle them, position them how you want. I do like this look of just a little bit of the wings in the background, but you can sort of put them back like this. So she has a bit more cleaner look to her, but I like just a little bit of that wing showing. So just kind of position them in like that, and you can fold those wings like that and just sort of, I think that right there looks really nice. But anyways, getting back to her accessories, she does come with two little forearm mounted missiles. Not sure what to call these, but they're very cool. They kind of look like arrowheads. And again, some really nice sculpted detail on these with some nice gold paint. They are just done in a gray plastic with the gold paint on top. But they are very, very cool, and they're both the same, as you see here. And they have pegs, so they are easily mounted on her. On the side of her arms there, you have these big ports here, so you can just peg those in like so. And same on the other arm. So let's take that and peg it into the port there. We can get that in, come on. Okay, there we go. All right, and yeah, now she has her weapons, and they are really cool. I really love these. I could just picture her in a sort of flying position like this with her missiles out and ready to attack the Predacon. So really, really cool. So those are the two accessories she comes with. And just bringing in the old school AirRaiser, I have the American version actually I just picked this guy up recently, or I picked her up recently. This is the Kenner version of AirRaiser. So just taking a look at the colors, I think this is more, it's more comparable in colors to the American version than the Japanese version. The Japanese version has a lot of different color schemes, but I think this color scheme is very similar to this Kingdom release. And you can see there just how the old school figure looks, and you have the comparison there. So very cool. I really do like how they carried over that sort of bronzy orange into the new figure here. So it looks very nice, and that sort of brown, a little bit darker on the original figure. But I do like what they used with the sort of grayish paint and plastic on this one. So there it is, just a quick comparison between the old AirRaiser and the new AirRaiser. So there they are side by side. And just bringing in another comparison with an updated figure. This is from the Kingdom line. This is Deluxe Class Huffer. So you can see how they scale there. So Huffer they're about the same size there. AirRaiser is a very sort of thin and sort of lanky figure, so Huffer has a little bit more bulk to him. But yeah, they're pretty comparable as far as size. I think maybe AirRaiser's, yeah, they're pretty about the same size. So AirRaiser might be a little bit taller just because of her head sculpt. But anyway, so bring Huffer out, and let's get AirRaiser transformed into her Falcon mode. One thing I actually forgot to do while in robot mode was these shoulder pieces do come up. I had it like this in my when I was doing the robot mode review. So actually these pieces on the shoulders are actually supposed to come up like this. So it kind of hides the shoulder piece there. So I just want to show you that that is the correct transformation there with these shoulder pieces up like that. All right, so here we have AirRaiser all transformed into her Falcon mode. And let's take a look at the detail. And there is plenty of detail to look at. First and foremost, let's take a look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt turned out really beautiful. You have a nice sort of gray, light gray paint to break up this other gray. The paint work on the eye is very nice, very realistic with that little bit of white highlight there. Makes it just pop out, and very, very cool. And you get a little bit of dark gray on the beak there. And where this figure shines is the top part where you can see You do get some nice detail here with the hair on the head, but where it really shines is on top of the wings here, which is amazing. Just the sculpted detail on these wings is really cool. You can see individual little lines here on the feathers, and they really did. I'm almost speechless here. They really did a great job on this Falcon mode, especially with the feathers. You get the tail feather there, so just so much detail, and really, really nice. Really, they really went all out with this. So there she is from the top. You got quite a nice wingspan there. And underneath, you do see a little bit of robot kill, but not too bad. Getting in close on the talons or the feet there, you do get a little bit of sculpted detail on the bottom there, and also on the top. So that's very nice. And going on the back, not much else. You do see how she sort of transforms there. I will say one thing, there are two little tabs here on the side that peg into the inner thighs, and they're a little bit loose, so they're a little bit hard to keep together. There's weapon storage on the back for the photon blasters, or whatever you want to call them, the arm missiles. But I realized putting these in, there is a little bit of gold rubbing off on mine already. So if you do pick up this figure, please be aware of that. I'm not sure if that's how it came in the box, but it does look like it's already being a bit worn there. So it's something to be careful about, definitely. So yeah. So let's take a look at the articulation for the Falcon mode. Now the head is on a swivel here, so you can get a full 360 on the head, which is very cool. There's a little bit of motion, actually, because of transformation, but you can look down and she can look up slightly. So there's a little bit of rotation there and articulation, which is very nice. Now the beak is articulated. It can open and close. I'm not going to close it all the way. Well, I will close it all the way, but I'm not sure I'll be able to get open again because it's very tight in there. So if you really have to get your fingernail in there and open it up again, which I cannot do. But anyways, the beak does open and close, which is very nice. Now, of course, all the feathers are on these hinges, so you really can get some nice poses on the feathers, on the wings. So you can sort of have her flapping up like this, as if she's flying. So it's very cool. You can have her, put her head up to the side, or put it down a little bit so she's looking down. But there's a lot of nice articulation on the wings, so you can pretty much pose her in any way you want. And it is nice, it has that sort of natural curve that goes up. It's very cool. They could have just done this flat, but they went all out and sort of, you have these layers of wings here, which really makes it very real looking. So as far as articulation, you have the articulation on the wings and on the head. There's nothing real at the tail here. That's actually pegged into the bottom. And you do have articulation on the feet. Again, same as the robot mode, they're just on that ball joint there. So you can get a little bit of rotation there and articulation on the legs. And again, these are just a soft sort of ratchet joint here, so you can kind of put them back and get a little bit more articulation in the legs. So it's, as far as the Falcon mode, it is articulated quite nicely. So bringing in the original Beast Wars Air Razor, just as a comparison, there she is here. And let's get her, let's just put Kingdom Air Razor down for a sec. And let's just fix that for a sec. All right, so on the original Beast Wars, the head sculpt had a lot more paint on it. It had some silver and blue. As it is, the Kingdom release is just very simple and very almost muted in its colors. I do like the original. I wish there was a little bit more paint on the head sculpt, but I think they're going for a more realistic Falcon mode, which is totally fine. And I do actually like the little bit darker color on the original Beast Wars figure. Now, speaking of this original Beast Wars figure, speaking of detail, this thing is just laden with detail too. It's a really nice, just light purple paint there. And you do get a lot of that feather work that we did see on the Kingdom release. Again, on the back here, some very cool design work there. And I really like the way this guy turned out. Not too much to look at from the bottom, but the actual Falcon mode is really cool. Now, one thing that you had on the original is that these little things could flip out. And you could use these little pincers back here to... let's see if I can get this to work there. Yeah, if you push them together, you can sort of make the wings flap or whatever. So that's really cool. It would have been super cool if they integrated something like that on the Kingdom release. I'm not sure how they really could have done that, but how cool would that have been if they had some sort of lever or something to either make the wings flap or sort of have something that folds out and make it do like that. So that would have been really cool. But it is what it is, and I think this figure is just amazing as it is. I don't think we really need any gimmicks. Now, one thing is sort of this exposed shoulder part here, which is a little bit, I kind of wish they had either painted it, painted this gray or done something with this part. It's just a little bit ugly. I think it would have looked a little bit more cohesive if they had done some different kind of paint here. But there is sort of a quick fix. You can sort of take these shoulder pieces, and they're supposed to be up in robot mode, which I failed to show you when I was doing my robot mode. And I apologize for that. But these are supposed to be up in robot mode. But you can take them like this and sort of hide that. So it looks a little bit different. Sort of a quick fix there for that exposed shoulder part. If you don't really like how that looks, you can just take it and go like that. And it doesn't really detract from the figure at all, but it just kind of covers up that ugly part. So I will put that back. But that's the official transformation is like this. But if you want to cover it up, you can always pull those up. So anyways, this has been the Deluxe Class Airazor review. And if you guys can get this figure, I highly recommend it. Let's see if I can get her to stand here. It's a little bit tricky because of the balance of the wings. But anyways, this figure is amazing. Lots of nice detail, beautiful sculpt work. The paint is nice. Articulation is great. Transformations, a little finicky. Please be careful again with the wings and such. She's a kind of a fragile figure, so if you do pick her up, please be careful. But I highly recommend this figure. I think Airazor is probably one of my favorite Deluxe Class figures in this line so far, and it's just an amazing figure. I can't really say it enough. So anyways, thanks for watching. This has been Matt in Japan, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.